Okay, so actually I need to get rid of that funny big sphere. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to create a, I like a NURBS for this trick I'm going to do. Just going to make this bigger. Let's go to the side view. And we'll just take this sphere. We're going to pop it up here. And what is it? The eyeball sits around 22 millimeters in diameter. I'm just going to see if I can figure out where it is here. That's too big. That looks a bit better. Actually, I wish I had something that told me exactly how big it was, but we'll do something like this and something like that. I could have it hang down a bit, but I think I'll be okay. And what do we go to the front view? Oh, and I didn't even check. This thing isn't lined up. I could have spent some more time lining this up, making it perfect. Let's do something like this. I'm going to make it a bit bigger. Something like that, because otherwise I know that it's going to look kind of funny, and I'll have to do some tweaking and playing a bit later. There. Actually, I should quickly turn this off reference, and I just realized that this thing is not centered. So, take a look for the center of the nose, center of the lip. Actually, that's kind of a bit weird right there. I wonder if he's got a broken nose. Let's see. Actually, I guess I got a slight angle into this. I thought, you can see, I can see the ear less over here, so actually he's angled a bit funny. So, let's just do this. And the other thing, evil thing I can do to line this up is that kind of gets the middle of the nose a bit better. If I take this and I just do something like this really quick. Oh, I'm going to fall over. We'll do it right there. Yeah. Every time you do this, you can never do this perfect. Okay, great. And what's that looking like? Okay, something like that. Okay, that should be good. And let's put this on reference again so I don't accidentally select it. And it's going to freeze the transformation, kill the history. Great. This NURBS sphere is going to be my friend for a minute. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put it onto a separate layer over here so I can hide it later on if I feel like it. But let's make this opaque. And I'm going to take this thing and I'm going to make it live. So there's a little thing. There's modify, make live. There's a button up on the shelf, but that's just as fast. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my create polygon tool out. Let's go to the front view. And let's just make this a little bit less opaque. And then if I go over here and make sure not to include the tear duct in this. Okay, and then I go chaka chaka here. Why am I getting, whatever. This used to be pink. If you would do this, you wouldn't get a black surface like this, you get this pink surface. And I guess something's changed recently. I'm not sure what I missed. Because usually whenever I do this, it's always pink. Done. So now if we check this out in this view, you can see that this thing is stuck right on the surface. If we take a quick look at it, and that seemed to work out pretty good. Okay, it's a good reference. It's a good way to pop it in immediately. I'm just going to take this, I'm going to go modify, make not live. Okay, and so now I can see this, I can just hide my NURB. There. Now you can see there's my shape. I'm just going to do a little bit more adjustments to this. I'm just going to go to panels here, and I'll just do panel layouts, two Hassans side by side. If I, hit 6, and it's still a little bit, and it's still off. It didn't work out exactly perfect, so whatever. So I'd have to go and really figure out that eyeball trick a bit more, but this is good enough. And it looks like my reference image is off a bit here. Maybe it has, let's see, something to do with, it just has something to do with Hassan. We'll see. I'll grab these. Pull this back a bit. Here, I'm just going to pause for a sec. The eyeballs aren't lining up, so I'm just going to spend a moment before I get into this and just really adjust this. So if I go to Create Polygons Cube, Okay, get a chunk of lip here, and I'll just go and make a duplicate. Looking at the eye. Let's go to take this one to the front. Yeah, and so I kind of got the nook of the eye is just not lining up, and the mouth is down a bit, so that means that this picture here is a bit too up, so I'm just going to go and line it up with line it up with this corner of the eye here. I'm just middle clicking and holding down the middle mouse button so I can do this. Okay. That doesn't really work, does it? Make it all invisible, and then suddenly, yeah, because I've got that transparency thing on here. Okay. And the mouth lines up pretty good when I do that. Okay. I'm just going to center the pivot so I can move this down. So it's lined up with that image there. And this looks like, yes, these are lining up much better. I can just take these and hide them. Okay, and let's get back to this. So if I go to the perspective view, what time are we at? 6:40? Okay, and now I got that in all place here. Grab the vertices. The vertices on top seem to be fairly decent here. Okay, and then it just goes around the corner to the nook of the eye. That looks fine. These might be back a bit too far, so I'll bring them up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to call that good. Going to pull these back a bit more. I'm just kind of lining them up at top and bottom just because I keep them even. I just kind of do this neat and tidy thing here. Let's pull this down a bit, pull this down. Okay, and I'll just kind of look at this. Alright, looks round and nicely shaped. Done. Okay, let's go to the front view. We have 748, okay. So, now what I'm going to do is I'll just go in and I'm going to get all the edges. And then if I go and I hit extrude again, I pull this out, and I kind of pull it out to the outside extremes here. And just to kind of help myself line this up a bit better, I'll just kind of pull it like this, and I'll do a little bit of rotation. I'll rotate this back again. It just helps me with my tweaking. That's all. That's really, really kind of a stupid move, but it's nothing really special. And I'll just go in here and grab this verti. Okay, and let's pull this in a bit tighter. Okay, and see, I'll just move this one here, and then I'll just move this one over here, this one over here. I'm just trying to go around, typically around the outside of the eyebrow a little bit. Okay, and by the way, I'm just using the nudge function that's in here. I'm trying to line, also to the upper eyelid, always overlaps the bottom eyelid here, so I'm just going to make sure I follow that. Okay, if you hold down the tilde key and you left click, and you don't actually have to select your vertices to move them around, you can just kind of nudge them around really quickly. Okay. And that looks okay. And, okay, I'm being really tweaky here. Okay, let's pull this back. Okay. Okay, and I'll call that relatively good for now. I'm trying to do this fast, so when I zoom out, you kind of look at this general shape, and it's like, okay, it seems like we got something fairly decent we can kind of work with. I'm just going to go to the front view, and I'll just make this opaque again. Now I just go in and I use the insert edge loop here, and I'm just going to go in, grab these vertices, and again I'll just kind of tilde this one because it's faster. And I'm going to line up with the upper eyelid on this one. If I try to line up with the lower eyelid, I was already doing this one, so I already kind of noticed that he's got a... Actually, it's not as baggy. I guess he was doing his funny little wincy smile earlier when I did this. Okay, so I can pull this one over here, pull this one over here. And I'm just going to pull this down this way a little bit. Not too much. Just to kind of encompass the bag of the eye. Maybe I'll go take this back a bit, like this. Okay. Okay, so that's good. And I might even go, you know, these are up a little bit. I'm just going to pull these back a little bit and tuck them in. Tuck in those bags under his eyes. And do something like this and this. Come on. Oh, now I'm getting used to that tilde key. I got to stop doing this. And nudge those around. Great. And again, take a look around it. Kind of go, how does the shape look? Okay, that's not too bad. Looks a little bit funky maybe. Okay. And then I just keep inserting edge loops. So here, we can insert one up into here. Actually, I guess I have mine on set to absolute or something over here. So on the poly split ring, absolute. I'm just going to go and change that from absolute to relative, so it's more in the middle. Okay, deselect that one, pull this forward a bit. I'll nudge it over this way a little bit. The bags under the eyes, here, here. Okay, and then you'll just go and do it this way, edge ring and split. I'm just gonna deselect, deselect. Okay. And I do need to do some more shaping to this, but also too, just hold on a second, these things here, these should kind of come and droop down typically. You'll always find that these things kind of droop a bit, and then these things recede. Let's take a look, see what it looks like. Zoom out, and we're at a 13-minute mark, and I usually like to only make these things 10 minutes long. Okay, one more quick thing, grab the eye, and I'll just take this, and I'll just extrude it back a bit, and I'm just going to hit G, and we're going to extrude it back a bit, and we'll just scale it up a tiny bit. Back a bit more, great. And there, let's make it opaque. And that's what we made the eye shape. So I'm going to stop this here.